I want you to take 5 seconds and think of the worst Nerf blaster ever made. I'm gonna make the assumption that you chose something like the Barrel Break, or the Nerf Deploy, or maybe some of the more modern blasters like the Shockwave, or the Flip 30, or the Flip 16. Those are all pretty good answers. And I'm not saying that those answers are wrong, but I'm about to talk about arguably the worst Nerf blaster ever made. Now, if you're a more casual Nerf fan, you might not know about this Nerf blaster. Good! Very good. Because it's best that we archive this Nerf blaster of its existence. In the middle of the 2010s, Nerf decided to make a series called the Alien Menace series. It's meant to be like a more alien-themed Nerf blaster series. Kind of similar to the Zombie Strike series, where it's zombie-themed. And sorry if I'm coughing a little bit. I have, for some reason, I got that summer fever, whatever. You know, like after like you finish school, and you have that like cough. I got like that summer fever, whatever. All right. So I have 2 out of the 3 Alien Menace Nerf blasters. They made 5 weapons, 2 of them being melee blasters, and those two melee blasters nobody could care about. So anyways, we have the Voidcaster. Now this blaster is relatively okay. It's not the greatest Nerf blaster in the world, but it's kind of useful if you want to have fun. It's not great for Nerf wars, but it is fast, and it is one of those trigger Nerf blasters where you don't have to do anything but pull the trigger. The range is relatively good for a blaster that is just a trigger blaster. Trigger blasters, they don't usually fire too far. This does actually fire pretty far, and it's got some dart storage. However, oh yeah, here's the dart storage in case you're wondering. However, the ergonomics of this blaster are really uncomfortable, and even firing it is really uncomfortable. This is like the best way to hold it. Like the back of the Nerf blaster on your arm, and kind of holding it like a hacksaw or whatever. You know, kind of holding it like this. Yeah, the ergonomics aren't really great on this blaster. And I really wish that the bottom right here, the shark fin, whatever, was like a melee part. Where in case if you didn't have like anything, like no darts or whatever, you could just do that. But because it's made of plastic instead of foam, like it should have been, it's not a melee part, and it's a pretty dangerous way to use a melee weapon. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the Incisor, which that blaster looks really awesome, and I would like to get it at some point. But the other Nerf blaster that I have from this line is one of the worst Nerf blasters ever made, and should be deleted. It should be declassified. It should be archived from its existence. Feast your eyes on the Nerf Alien Menace Ravanger. What is this? What even is this? Instead of Nerf making something that looks like it was from Area 51, this thing looks like it was created in an abandoned shed in Detroit, Michigan during the 2008 recession. What does this Nerf blaster do? Its main gimmick: every time you pull the trigger, the barrel will spin, which leads to a lot of problems. This blaster barely even works, and granted, I got this from a thrift store, but no matter if I got it from a thrift store, no matter if I got it from Kmart, no matter if I got it from Walmart or whatever, it doesn't help the fact that the blaster is absolutely garbage. Now, we all know some Nerf blasters have slam fire. Some Nerf blasters you might think of the Ranger or the Rough Cut. you can fire those Nerf blasters pretty fast. The Ravager does have slam fire, but here's the problem. It locks up on me because the barrel has to spin in order for you to prime the handle back and forward. It constantly locks up on you because of how slow the barrel is turning. Let me show you a visual of that again. See how it locks up on me? So this is really the only effective way to slam fire the blaster. You have to wait 3 seconds for the barrel to turn, then you can prime back and forward and fire. Just like that. Why make this Nerf? Why? Just why? It's ugly, I'm lost for words. This blaster sucks. It's a disaster, and I don't even know why I still have this Nerf blaster. But I should still take this Nerf blaster to remind myself that even the biggest companies in the world have their flaws. I don't want to fire this Nerf blaster, but I gotta show you the range on this Nerf blaster. Alright, might as well torture myself with this. Alright, so starting off with the standard Nerf Elite darts. 58 flat. And look at that. Look at that. Two darts fired at the same time. I think that was like 50.4? 66.2, not terrible. 57.3, yeah. 58.5. 57 flat. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, it also skips shots. 51.5. And 51.8. Just get out of my face. Alright, you know what? Just for good measure, let's also fire it. Like without chronograph and all that stuff. See how it skips shots, just like that. And then also, and even when it spins, it locks up. I mean, even when it finishes spinning, it locks up sometimes. Sick of it. Absolute garbage. Nobody should own this Nerf blaster. Nobody should even look at this Nerf blaster, including me. Maybe the worst Nerf blaster ever made, period. It barely even functions, it barely even fires, and it's the worst thing ever made. Really, the only Nerf blaster I could think of that is worse than it is the Disruptor. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that the Disruptor is the worst Nerf blaster ever made. But I've had 2 Disruptors. Both of them broke. It doesn't break. The Ravager doesn't break, but it barely even functions. It barely even fires. Nobody should use it. So anyways, that is my quote-unquote review on the Ravager. I hope that the next Nerf blaster that you buy is actually really great, and it's actually really fun, unlike what I just showed you. So anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, and I don't know, do whatever. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.